Welcome back to PJ Chen Design. This is PJ. In this video, I'll show you how to design a cross pendant in the Rhino 3D software, focusing on the stone in the prong arrangement and how to avoid the common casting issue. Are you ready? Let's get started. Before we started, everybody have a different way to arrange their stone. There's no right or wrong way, it's just different way. Today I would like to show you my way of doing it. Hopefully that can help you on your jewelry design. Starting from scratch. Before we started, you can download this stone at the description below, sign up the newsletter, and you should able to get this stone right here. For this stone, I make it into the size for 3mm, and again you can make it into different size, the same formula that you're going to play with the design. So first of all, I would like to arrange stone in the vertical way, and just for the reference, I want to put this one that I did earlier on the side along with me doing the model so I can explain it to you. There's a certain proportion for the cross, depends on your religion and a certain type of the cross. You might want to make sure that proportion is correct before you're doing this. And for this demonstration, I would just like to talk about the arrangement. So you can see that I have a stone go from this one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 of them in the same distance, and the same pattern is repeating on this right part going to the top and the bottom. Right, so what you can do is you can creating those 5 first, and then you just copy those. And the great thing about the cross is they are super symmetrical. So the first one, I would like to make them into the 0, 0, and I want to go to make 5 of them. Now keep in mind all the stone distance, I personally like to keep it as a 0.1mm if possible. You can make it longer or larger distance if you like, but it just will make the stone not reflecting to each other. So the ideal is 0.1mm, so I put that little tab there for 0.1. Now I'm going to use the command for linear array, and then I would like to have 5 of them, so I'm just going to type 5 here, snapping right here for my vertex, and I wanted to snapping into the endpoint of that little tag that I have, so that is represent those 5 stones right here. The next step that we wanted to do is we need to arrange those bottom 3 stones right here. So what you wanted to do is just manually to moving the one it's about similar distance, and use the gumball to hit the Alt key, and then you will see the plus sign, and then you will get something like this. You might need to get this one close to the center just a little bit and move it down just a little bit, roughly about 0.1mm. All right. Remember, this is a symmetrical cross, so I simply just need to mirror that one to the other side and to have that. Now notice that this distance might be too small, so a lot of time if you want to do a mirror, make sure you record a history. And what you can do is after you visualize this gap is way too small compared to this one, we can simply just moving out, and then they will move on the both sides. All right, and then the next one is simply just going to move one down. Or a lot of time I just like to use a mirror command. That's using the mirror command, and we snapping to the vertex, and then that will be super accurate there. Now once you have that, I need to have this one going to the top. So simply just have this one mirror to the other side, and then we'll have something like this. Okay, now once we have that, we need this one coming into this side. So simply let's go ahead to use the rotate command, and I want to snapping into a vertex for that stone, and I do want to have a copy. So right here on the top, copy equal yes, and then we want to rotate it here and rotate it here. Very quickly you're going to see that I have something like that, and then it'll in the correct distance. All right, now let's talk about the under bezel. One thing I want to talk about the under bezel is if I have a circle, let's say I'm going to snapping into a vertex here, and then you can see this is a circle that we put it in there. Just want to make sure they are flat. Right, so when I have a stone, I always want to have a hole behind it. This facet stone will look brighter, so I simply just going to offset and to offset 0.8 millimeters. So you can see now I have two circles here. I'm just going to mark them in the red color. Now I need to have those to be on every single one on the bottom. And the reason that I'm doing that is because I want to create an under bezel. So let me show you what I mean the under bezel. We're gonna have that to extrude it straight, and we don't need both sides. So both sides equal no. And I'm going to bring it down roughly about this. All right, and I'm going to move this one down under the stone, and then you can see that I have this one stick it out a little bit. Now, what is the proper distance in between the quillet to the bottom of your bezel? It's about 0.5 millimeter, right? Longer than that, you're just having a lot of material, so I simply just want to scale it down in 1D and bring it back like that, something like that. All right, so that is one. Now I have one. How do I make a bunch of the copy there? And I'm going to use the copy command, and I simply just gonna make a bunch of the copy from vertex to vertex. Now you can using array tool if you like to, but since they are not like 100 of the stone, and it's really easy to snapping into the vertex for the stone, so I'm just going to snapping there. Okay, so now we have everything with the under bezel. Now what we wanted to deal with is the prong. For the prong that we have, so simply we just going to make a straight line, and I gonna coming over here anywhere on the side, and then I'm gonna draw something look like this. All right, and for what size the prong will be appropriate, let's give it a try. Not only it should be sturdy, secure the stone, we also wanted to know like visually if they look nice. Look like that if I have a prong so big, I pretty much look at the prong more than the stone, right? So let's give it a try for 0.8 millimeter and see if that work well. The proportion look well, and for 3 millimeter stone, this should work well. So first prong that I have, I'm going to bring it down here. Now I'm going to zoom in to show you. Now this prong is 0.8 millimeter in the diameter, as you can see right here. Now, how much of the prong can be cut? I will say 20-25% should be efficient. So you do not want the prong to cutting like that. More than 50%, it will break really easy. All right. So what we wanted to do is about this, like 20% off whatever the prong size is. And then so once we have that, let's take a look on the top view, and we are going to arrange this to here and here. So basically you want to move it right in the center in between those three stones, making a copy by hitting the Alt key, and then you will get something like this, maybe a little bit lower. And then we're gonna do it one more time, moving down like this. Now, if you want them to look super symmetrical, this one we can simply just using a mirror command and snapping to any of the vertex of a stone, and then that will be here. All right, so now we have this. Let's take a look on the side. I'm going to manually to move one of the prong here. And one thing that I like for the prong is I usually, if I draw a line, this is my little trick here. If I draw a line, I do not want the prong like stick it out over this line there. I want them to stay inside. So that way you don't bumping into the prong all the time. Again, I can have this one, and also I'm going to making a copy, and I'm going to snapping from this point to this point. Again, once you are done, moving in a little bit. All right, for this one right here, we can just mirror. Now you can see I do a lot of mirror, and for the symmetrical thing, instead of using my, eyes to judge if that is the right place. And let's go ahead to mirror to the other side to get something like this. All right, now I want to double make sure that I'm doing right. As you can see, some of them is higher, some of them is lower. I'm going to temporarily hiding this one more time so it's easier for you to see. Sometimes it happens like this, but it is okay. I'm going to just pick up everybody, and I'm going to align to the bottom, and so they will be aligned. We don't need the prong is like super tall. As long as they have something taller than the table, then you should have enough material. Okay, so now we have those prong right here, and notice that it is sticking out from the bottom. So I'm going to really quickly draw a box, and this box is going to be something like this. And I just want them to be aligned with the under bezel there. All right, and I want to move in here. Let me go ahead to trim those prong first, so we don't make bunch of a copy and we need to trim it later. And I'm sorry, not a trim, we want a bowling. So I'm going to pick up all the prong right here, and it's going to be bowling difference from the box that we have. So then they will be the same height, right? And now this is a really important part that I wanted to show you here. If you take a look on my render view, and you're going to see that each of the tube that we have as an under bezel is connecting with the prong. For casting, you shouldn't have any problem. But the problem is I do not like those gap right here. It's really pointed right here. It's really narrow right here. You have a lot more chance to break your investment when you are casting, and then you will have some imperfection on the casting. So what I prefer is actually filling up all the gap right there. Right, so instead of having under bezel, which I wanted to show you first, and then to put some prong there, and then imagine that everything has a little gap in between the stone, it doesn't look good. Now, another thing that my student will say, well, PJ, why don't you just make this one a little bit bigger so everybody is overlapping so you don't have that gap? That is a very good question, but now I wanted to take a look from the top view. If we do the render view on the top, you will see the metal behind the stone. It's more like a picture frame. It's framing the whole stone. And what is that problem is that make your stone look smaller and compared to the one without the metal behind, right? So we want to minimize our metal and to make sure that the stone is bright and it look really big and without any of the metal showing underneath it. All right, so what I like to do to show you that it is a quick way to fix it. We need to get all the curve first. So I'm going to go back here, and I'm just going to lock my prong there. What we wanted to do is I want to duplicate all the edges for those under bezel. All right, and let me move those under bezel into other layer, change to this layer, and then we'll just deal with this one. Let me change it into the black color as well. All right, let me turn off the rest of it, and then let's take a look on the ghost view, and then you're going to see I have a lot of the little circle here. All right, so first things I wanted to do is I want to build a bridge and the metal to fill in all the gap in between. So let's go ahead to use the rectangle, and I want to use 3 point. I'm going to snap in into the quadrant here, all the way to the bottom right here. And I'm also going to do another one quadrant here with the 3 point, quadrant here, and all the way to the side. So those are the metal going to linking everybody, but I do not want it to hold to be block. So we're gonna do a lot of trimming. I'm going to fast forward and to get the result here. All right, so once this is done, just go ahead to join them, and then you will get something like this. Let's give it a try. I'm going to call back with my stone there, and I'm going to delete all the under bezel right here. So what we like to do is we want to pick up every curve that we have just fixed, and we are going to extrude it this one. So let's go ahead to extrude it planar curve straight. And we want to extrude it somewhere under the girdle, and then you got something like this. Now if you take a look on my perspective view, and then you can see that there's no gap in between the stone, right? On the top you don't see much of the metal too. I mean, you do see a little bit here, but that should be fine. And plus, after those polish, it will be pretty shine and it's hard to see. But it's better than seeing everything around it like a frame it fuller design. And this is just my personal aesthetic. I think this one look better in this way. All right, so now I have this. Again, we need to create the rest of the prong. So I'm going to go ahead to pick up those prong. And simply coming into my top view, I'm going to rotate it 90° with the copy, another 90° with the copy right there. Okay, so now I have all the top part is almost done. You can see that I have some things here is going to jam it together, but that's all right. We'll figure out that part pretty soon. I'm going to move one right here and make sure it's like covered on the both side. And then instead of moving another one and copy, again, we want to use mirror, and then we'll have something like this. If that one look okay to you, just go ahead to pick up all of this. And I would like to go with the array tool, and we want to array 4 of them. And we want to go from any of the vertex to any of the vertex here. Okay, so for the bottom one, I can simply just pick up those prong. I should have grouped them, but that's all right. And once I pick up those prong, I wanted to mirror to the other side. So the center stone is this one. So I'm going to go ahead to use the mirror and snapping into this center stone right here, and then holding my shift, and I get things there. All right, so we got few things here to take care. I would like to have this one and this one, copy this one and this one, and I would just like to rotate it 90° and hit the Alt key, and I'll have something like this. All right, so this will be the arrangement that I suggest for this design. And also, if you take a look on the back, there's no hole. There will be a better casting once you bowling it, and then having a bell on the top of it, and that will be ready for casting. That's the full process for building this pendant. If you wanted to apply this to your own jewelry cat design and go deeper into a production-ready model, you can find more information about the full program that I offer in the description below. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next.